All right, welcome back to another episode of Authortube. Now remember, these particular Authortube videos are headspace videos, right? We're going to do some other videos on the mechanics of writing and the technicalities and stuff, but this is about headspace, all right? So as we know, headspace is important. If your head's not in the game, you're not going to produce, okay? So this particular video is going to deal with keeping it simple when writing. Here's what I mean, all right? Now, example. My first book, I remember writing it very carefully. I remember analyzing almost every word that I was putting in there. I remember rereading sentences. I remember adjusting things as I went along. I remember pulling up the old thesaurus. There has a tongue tie for you. Thesaurus, checking out other words that I could use. I mean, there's this interest in being clever in terms of word usage, like all sorts of things, in short, that involve overthinking. Right? And that's just simply from the presentation point, never mind the story point. But let's just talk the presentation point. Overthinking is going to cause all sorts of problems, right? Because what's going to happen is your conscious mind is going to put up a wall between itself and your subconscious mind, right? And your imagination, right, draws from both your subconscious and your conscious, right? Your conscious kind of controls where the imagination is going, but your subconscious is the one that's pulling up all those, interesting ideas and fantastical circumstances and whatever else, right? So we cannot have that wall there, because if we do, there's going to be a disruption of flow, and it's going to cause problems. So what I suggest is don't overthink when writing, namely your first draft, right? The first draft, the purpose is purely, let's get the story from here to the screen or the page, however you do your writing, okay? That's goal. That's the number one goal for first draft, is purely to get the story out. All the other stuff you could deal with later. It's getting the story out. So we want to make sure that there's no dam in the way so that the river can flow. And overthinking will certainly create that dam. So as you're going about your story and as you're writing it out, what I encourage you to do is just relax. Don't overthink. Don't overanalyze. Of course, you're paying attention to what's going on, but what's remarkable, too, is your subconscious is keeping track of your entire book in the back of your head. So consciously, you might not remember what happened back in chapter 4 precisely, but your subconscious does. Because when you come around later for second draft, you're going to be surprised. You're going to see how the whole thing, chapters 1 through, let's just say, 25, 30, actually flows as a coherent story. Right? Yeah, I need some writing adjustment, sure. But in terms of the story part, it's going to flow. And why? Because your subconscious kept track of the whole thing the whole time, right? And that's how kind of writing works, right? Is you have this idea, you have this, perhaps a scene, perhaps a line of dialogue, perhaps something. And what your subconscious does is it tells your conscious mind, okay, I'll take that idea, and I'm going to go put it in the oven for a little while. And then when it's ready, I'm going to pull it out, and I'm going to present to you the finished concept. And that's how it goes. So anyway, again, this video is meant to be short. Keep it simple. So that said, don't overthink when you're writing, okay? It doesn't matter what medium of writing you're doing. Just don't overthink it. Just let it come out. Let the subconscious feed the conscious, which in turn goes onto the page. And it's like that little train flow, if you want to call it that. Train, right? Subconscious, conscious, brain, hand, paper, right? And yeah, do that. Relax. Don't overthink. Trust your subconscious. It knows what it's doing. You might not know what it's doing, but it knows what it's doing. Okay? So let go and let the story just happen. And I assure you that if you let go and you let the free flow of the river go through, I'm talking like completely, come the end of the story and come second draft time, you're going to see a coherent story start to finish, one that was not overthought, one that flows smoothly. And all that you need to do at that point is just do your standard revisions as per usual, as every writer does. So, yeah, don't overthink, don't overanalyze, just get it done. See you next Authortube video. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed the previous ones. I hope you've enjoyed this one. And I ask kindly if you would please subscribe to the channel, because there's going to be more Authortube videos. And we're going to do, again, more headspace stuff. And then, of course, as mentioned, we're going to do some more mechanical, technical stuff. So, yeah. Thank you again. Cheers.